In the comment section, can you tell us who you can hear? We're having a little trouble with sound, so can you hear me or Julia? Julia.
Hello, hello, everybody. Hi. I'm so sorry about this, but we're having some major stuff going on. So can anybody hear us?
Anybody
Maybe we're
comment?
not even here. Are we really here, Kaya? Maybe not. It says we're live. Anyway, well, it is recording. If nothing else, it is recording and we can go. I mean, I'm not sure what's happening. Our team is behind the scenes working on things, so they're helping us out. But you can hear me now, right, Kaya? Okay, we're getting that they can hear us. All right, super. Okay, well then we keep going. You can hear me, right, Kaya?
So you can hear me too?
Uh-huh. Everybody can hear Kaya?
Okay, good.
I don't know what happened. Wait a minute, Kaya, where'd you go? You can't do that. Okay, we're gonna wait while Kaya comes back on. I don't know what he's doing, this disappearing act he's doing here, but he'll be back, and and I'll join him in when he gets back. I don't know about you guys, but this is something strange is going on. So I would like to know if anybody else is having anything interesting going on, like energetically or whatever, because this has been really interesting this morning, and it's been going on for the last couple of days probably, and then I noticed somebody posted a comment in Facebook that's asking if we're going through the shift like right now, and that's how I feel about it. It's like right now something is actually happening. So those of you that, you know, I'm very sensitive to energy, and so I feel like that's probably happening there. There we have Kaya coming back on now. Okay, so Kaya, I was talking a little bit about the strange things that are going on right now. I'm wondering if anybody else is noticing some of that too. So because I'm very sensitive to energy, and so I feel like, you know, that I can feel energetically things, but I don't necessarily know what it is. And it really threw me off this morning. It's that heavy. It's that big. It's like it's big. It's something big. So if anybody knows something, you know, if you're getting information, whatever, that'd be wonderful, because I think people kind of need to know some of these things. If you're feeling off, if you're feeling wonky, we're going through some major stuff right now. They're telling me that's what this virus is all about. Remember, we were saying this is about us looking at ourselves and facing our fears and doing all of that. And so we're making huge advancements. Oh my gosh, it's huge. The bigness of this. So you guys have been doing fantastic. This time that we've had with ourselves and alone and isolation, all of this is for this. So I guess that's what this is. Are you getting anything, Kaya? He disappeared on me again. Okay. So I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe he can't hear me. But anyway, wonderful. I'm seeing somebody saying here, I've been feeling, I heard there's a major astrological portal opening today. Oh, that would make some sense. It feels like something major, like something big. It's a huge energy thing. You know, I was always before, it was like I've noticed things that were more right in my world, you know, like right around me. I could feel the energy of things. But now it's like huge cosmic things. And that's why sometimes I wonder, is there something happening on this big level, because it comes in and it does all these things. So and friends and bizarre dreams, and I think it's about seeing the subconscious fears in them and letting them go. I totally agree, Francesca. That's exactly. I've been having some really interesting dreams too, and it's the same kind of thing. It's like this stuff is coming up, and it's very lucid dreams. That's where I know there's something different in them, because within the dream, I'm analyzing. It's like, okay, remember this, and oh yeah, this means something, and remember all this. And so I actually wrote it down. One of them, I wrote it down, and so then we can go from there. But it's like that's been happening a lot lately. So Kaya, are you with us to stay now this time? Oh no, I can't hear you. See, oh, we have ascertained that there's something huge going on astrologically. So, okay, check your speaker, check your microphone, internal mic and all that good stuff, and whatever you're working with. We've been playing with stuff all morning, and I guess it just threw the computers off. I don't know. Or no, they're saying it's this energy. They're trying to make it. They're trying to make a point here. I love it when they do these things with our technology, and when we're on the air, we're trying to be professional. We're trying to do all these things, and then they just go, you know, we're just going to knock you on your side and on your head, and we're just going to just show whatever. They've got some point to make here. I know you guys are putting in wonderful comments, so I'll probably figure that out later what their point is. Anyway, Kaya, how you doing? Can anybody hear Kaya? Okay, we'll wait for those messages to come in. There's a little bit of a delay here. Okay, I don't know if the yes is to hearing Kaya or yes is to whatever I'm saying. So anyway, are you just supposed to look pretty this time, Kaya? We were hearing you. Okay, they're saying they can't hear you. All right, so I have no idea. This is really interesting. Okay, I'm trying to tune in to whatever it is they're trying to get me to understand. Somebody else is getting a very clear message out there of what is going on. Oh.
Hiya.
Hey.
No, yay! Can't hear him.
Can hear you. Okay, and that's because we just tuned in. Oh, I love this. Like they're just coming in. This is what they're saying. Okay, I get it now. This is what they're trying to do with us all the time, trying to connect and trying to and talk to us and try to communicate and try to understand. And this is how it is for them. It's like all this, can't hear you. Kaya, why'd you leave again? So we think they leave, but they're really not. This is the wildest show I have ever done. I just want you to know right now. So whatever their message is so fantastic. Is anybody who needed this? Somebody really needed this to be shown to them, that this is how hard it is sometimes to get the messages through, and how to communicate, and how to work with us, because we can be so doggone stubborn and so whatever analytical. Kaya, are you here this time?
I'm here. I don't know if you can hear me though.
I can hear you.
Oh my God.
Okay. Please don't push any buttons. Don't leave again.
All right. This is good. This is really good.
All right. Okay. I think what a part of this was, yay, we're all here. I think what a part of this was, what I was getting was, this is similar to when they're working with us. If we won't connect, if we can't tune in, and we can't, we're just not doing it. We're not connecting. And they're trying to get the messages through. They're trying to talk, but we're like, I don't hear you. I don't hear you. You keep leaving me. Why are you leaving me? What's going on? I don't understand. Well, I need you right now. Don't leave. And I can't hear you. I can't see you. I can't. And it's like, they're just like, this is what they're dealing with all the time with us, trying, when we're being very, very analytical or obstinate and stubborn. And it's like, we're always there and we're always communicating, but we do our best. Now you do your thing. So it's something about, because as soon as I started tuning in, then that's when things started working. So are you getting anything?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, like the connection going in and out, right? So we start off with a disconnect, and my intention was to come in here and actually talk about the concept of disconnect as the opening.
So I was like, who is this for? Who is this for? Who created this?
But I didn't want it to have it manifest itself in a technical way with technology, or maybe I do to prove the point. Maybe that's why that was coming in there. It's really interesting how this all works. And Geez, what I wanted to talk about was the fact that sometimes familiarity can breed contempt. Um, and when I say contempt, I don't mean it in like a horrible way. I just mean that when you grow accustomed to being with people and seeing the same thing and experiencing that again and again, and you spend a lot of time with people, the value or the intensity of that time can kind of be diluted to where maybe you might not feel as quite alive. And this happens with romantic relationships a lot. People will be like, oh, there's just like the sparks missing, and we've been around each other a lot, and it's just kind of missing something, and I feel like we're taking each other for granted. And I think it's something, it happens often within humanity. When we're with each other and we're in the physical and we're tight and we're around and we're around and we're around and we're around, we kind of crave the away after a while. The away is what we're looking for. And I think in this instance, what we had on a grand level is that we've had the away just really pop. The togetherness, the togetherness, the togetherness, and now suddenly it's completely disconnected us. And we can't have the physical contact if we wanted to. It's the point where police are going to arrest people in Spain. Steph was telling me if you walk your dog too far, you're going to be arrested. So you're not visiting your neighbor anytime soon in Spain and a lot of other places in the world. And the earth is undergoing this shift now from the togetherness to the apart. Okay, so then what would the apartness symbolize, right? And this is something that's huge. I just popped on YouTube. I was scanning this week, and there was a Dolores Cannon video that came on that somebody created with a kaleidoscope effect, and they were actually just reading one of the books. They're reading some passages, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I don't even think it was a practitioner. I think it was somebody out there who was just reading Dolores Cannon passages and putting a kind of like a big kaleidoscope-like effect. Really interesting. But what she was talking about was the New Earth concept. And it's so amazing how the New Earth concept was brought up in those books quite some time ago. And now through channeling, like internally from my own channeling, from different channeling that I've seen from others and heard from others, and for what I really feel, I feel that this New Earth it's happening right now. There was the big concept of the New Earth, and we were wondering exactly when it was taking place and how it would actually split the two Earths into the old Earth and the new Earth. Well, this is how it's split. There's no greater mechanism. And if you think about it, it's really unbelievable to think about the mechanism that forced this new Earth split. And it's really this invisible thing that's happening right now. And when you stop and think about that, you're like, wow. And back we had the Mayan civilization, and it's always fascinated me, especially going to South America, and we've sort of went down and into Central America, and we looked in these different places. And in the history of time, you see that the Mayans absolutely, bam, it was like they disappeared. And the Mayan calendar ended abruptly, and off they went somewhere else. Well, what's really interesting now collectively for the Earth is that we are the entire Mayan civilization expanded tremendously to now being this new group of leaders, this new group of Earth beings that are going to shift all together. And this is the most miraculous thing happening in the universe. This is the grand experiment. It's never been done before. And it's happening right now. And our celestial friends, our friends from other galaxies, other planets, other stars, our soul friends, our guides, everyone here around us is rooting us on to go into this journey into the new Earth, to step into this process of now this segregation and splitting of worlds, and opening us up now to express ourselves fully, because now's the time for you to express yourself completely. Now's the time to let that you come out and lead and share. It's more important than ever. And this split is happening, and it's super powerful. And when we come back and we're reunited completely in the physical, and we felt the new year, this new shift happening, it's just the same thing that happens in the romantic relationship when the lost lover that you haven't seen in so long, you've been apart, you have so many stories to tell, the information is bursting from you, and you grab them in an embrace and you share the magic. And that's what we're all doing with each other right now. And we're about to go into those moments. They await us in the future. And right now we're priming, we're coming together, we're bringing out the highest vibration forms of us. And it's all going there for a reason. It's pretty amazing.
Very amazing. I don't know. I'm sure you did notice while we were doing that. My power went off. I completely had to regroup, and it's like what? And so that's just more. I mean, you are such a powerful manifester to put that out there. Okay, I want to do this about disconnection, and but that's just it. We feel so disconnected. And it's causing that, and it's doing. Oh boy, they're just like, I'm having trouble with words right now, if you couldn't tell, and that's part of this. I'll just let you keep talking, Kai. You're doing a great job. This is weird.
Debbie said, Gaia said invisible thing, and then Julia disappears. Thanks for pointing that out. Did that really happen? That's crazy.
This will be fun to go back and look at that, because that's what we do afterwards. We look at, what was said and what was happening. And like I said, this has got to be the craziest show I've ever done where stuff is happening. And it'll be really fun to see like your comments and then also what we're saying at the time when each of us are bopping in and out and all these things are happening. I think we're good now. We will, I guess the point's been made.
Right when he said invisible, Sama said that. That is.
Oh my gosh, we are so cool. We couldn't plan this any better. And really, I didn't know. See, I didn't know that was Kaya's intent. I didn't know that at all. This is, we come in with different things that, like, okay, this is what I want to do. And I know we have the questions, and something it's telling me, I'll look at them here, but something's telling me it's like we don't need to look at them. We'll be addressing them. We are so tapped in. It's like, this is how it works. Our intent, and definitely my intent, and I know we talk about this constantly before we do these shows, is we're noticing each week they're changing, and stuff, because in the first it was all about, my gosh, we're all kind of in this little mode of what's going on. And so we were working with that. And it's like each week we're working with a different kind of place that we are with this, a level of growth and understanding of where we are with what's going on around us. And so, collectively, they're saying really loud, it's collective. What we're working with right now is on the collective level, and that's what we're getting and stuff. So just trust that your questions, oh boy, someone has an issue with trust. Okay, trust that your questions are being answered on the highest level with what we're saying. Okay, I no disrespect, but I'm not right now. They're telling me not to look at the questions. So, and I haven't, because of all these things that have been going on, I haven't. And we really had a lot of technical stuff going on right before the show, and that's usually when I'll really scan and everything and see what the latest questions were. And they're saying to trust, you to trust, and for us to trust.
And trust, because this plays in well, because we've decided to do a second Q&A, because it takes a while to get through everything. So we're going to be doing a YouTube live Q&A on the QHHT YouTube page, and that's going to be Wednesday, same time as today. It's going to be next Wednesday, and we'll be doing the Facebook on Friday. So it'll be two different sessions, and and we will get to lots more questions then. So we're
Right.
just going to kind of roll with the flow now and see where things go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wanted to,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
wanted to check in and say, how was everyone's dreams? Like, I know we were talking about dreams, and
Yeah, some were saying that they were having some really interesting dreams these last few days.
yeah,
And it's like bringing up all these fears, these subconscious fears and stuff for them to look at and deal with. And I would agree. So I was saying, I mean, my dreams have been really interesting lately too. One, I can remember them. That, because usually I'll know that I've been dreaming, but I don't remember them. And then two, they're very lucid, and they are bringing up things to look at, and definitely, you know, mine, I don't know that they're fears, but they're definitely things. So that's interesting that others are saying it's like they're having a lot of stuff coming up. So, and that would make sense in this time of what we're working with. It is about time, about going in and dealing with our own stuff. And what you were saying, Kai, about this is so big. That's what they're saying. It's like, this is huge for us to move to this next place. It's about getting ourselves in check. It's about letting those things go. It's dealing with whatever is being brought up and just working through it and let it go, so that what they're showing me is like a smooth pathway through this doorway. So that way we can go smoothly. They're saying if the more you do here, the smoother it will be. Ooh, that's nice. So it's like, just let all that stuff go. Just unload the baggage, unload the stuff. They really want to say shit, but I cannot say it. I know they really want me to say that word. I'm like, so it's like, can we just call it baggage and stuff and garbage and junk, and load it, unload it now. In fact, they're saying go through your homes. Now is the perfect time. And I started doing that the last couple of days too. I've been really feeling and more of an impetus to start going through the clutter, start going through everything and just getting rid of stuff. Just let it go, let it go, let it go. If it's, you know what you need, you know what you don't need. It's kind of look at it with those eyes. What is really necessary? What is there to help you to feel your lightest and to feel your best in your environment? And then that's what goes forward with you. If it's something that's been dragging you down and hanging on to you and pulling you back and just being like, oh, they're showing me like suffocating your energy, you can let it go. Now is the time to do that. They really want us to purge, just and then we just flow easily. So it's up to you. Now that's entirely, they're again showing me the free will. That's up to you. However you want to go through this next transition. It's not about who, we're all going, okay? We're all going. It's just we're choosing how we want to go. You want to go light, or you want to go dragging all your junk and garbage? And then that way you're just taking that on in, So if you still got the same world that you had before, well, guess who did that? So this is your chance right now. Ooh, they're getting really. Okay, you got something to say, Kaya. I can feel it. I can feel it.
Yeah, so I can give you guys a little depth into where the information was coming and how it was coming based on the new earth and the parallelism between that visceral feeling of passion that you feel for a lover or you feel for connected, and that how that relates to us collectively, the intensity of that passion coming into us. And what happened was I watched that video, and it was one of the first things that I watched before bed. So it opened the doorway into a new earth. So new earth was something that was on my mind. And then so I was probably at alpha when I saw that. I was definitely an alpha when I was watching that video. Alpha brainwave state for you guys might be a little.
This is the video of Mom?
Yeah, it was just coming through. Somebody made it. I was like, cool. I love when you guys put up videos. I'm randomly watching all kinds of videos that we put up because you're doing such a good job at it now on YouTube. And in this video, okay, that was the last thing that was on my mind. So I went into bed. I didn't go into theta. I just went right into delta, fell asleep right away. And then I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was feeling pretty wide awake at 4 o'clock in the morning. I checked my Aura ring. It said I had like less than 1 hour of deep sleep, and I want to get like an hour and 45 minutes of deep sleep because I had a pretty intense active day. So a little backstory on that. So instead of just going there and just trying to fall asleep again, I made the intention that I was going to set and visit the new earth, or at least feel the vibration of the new earth reality. And so I was like, new earth, and I started breathing when I breathe and sort of constricted my breathing and took deep breaths that I do through the channeling, and just a few deep breaths and bam, I was in it. And I went into it and then I got back down to it and I felt the darker skin of having a Mayan feeling like a body. And I felt I was wearing some kind of ornament, and we were chanting and we were looking up and we were feeling light. And I was feeling that connection of the new place, of opening your heart to that new place and coming into that new place and wanting that new place like you've never wanted anything else in your life before. It was just this incredible sense of desire. And I felt that on such a profound level. And we went into that place together by matching that same vibration. It was like we were toning and we were just pacing, and we had sort of a rhythm to our tone, and then off we went to this place. And that was this incredible energetic connection of suddenly now being in this other place, and everything dissolved and we came into light, and then almost instantaneously we reformulated the physical. So you felt that transition in and out and the glow of it, and all this is happening. It feels like it's happening slower and might be happening fast, but I was experiencing some of what that actually was. And that was giving me a taste of what to share vibrationally, because by me telling that story now, anyone that's listening, there was a little bit of a doorway open for us to go through it again, because we've all been there. If you're listening now, this is part of our group. This is what we're doing. You're here, you're listening for a reason. It's connecting to that. And you're realizing that participating in this with love and desire and passion is what it's about. Moving forward every day with love, passion, and desire as your sponsoring thought, that's the name of the game. The whole fear, the whole looking back, the whole worry, the whole nervousness, the whole looking at death as something that's horrible, that's another earth. And that other earth is working itself, and it's going to be existing, and it's a simultaneous earth, and that's okay. It's just a journey. It's not bad. It's not good. It's not awful. It's actually neutral. And everybody in there is actually desiring it and working through it. And it's all a matter of choice. So I think this tied into what was happening last week when you really talked about death, and it was pretty powerful. We're placing such a heavy emphasis on death right now, more than I can remember placing. Yeah. It's almost like this is the third war, and everybody is looking at this scary death number, and you see the graphs of the death number climbing, and the old earth is looking at it and feeling the fear and tracking the death. But when you think about the fact that consciousness is infinite and it doesn't die, it just changes form, it just shifts, it just changes shapes, and you think about the fact that people are coming into this earth to get a taste of this earth experience. They could get a little taste, a little bitty taste, and just be here for a while, and it's good enough, because for the rest of their holograph, they're going to be saying, I participated in that wild earth, multi-dimensional, 1 in a billion transition. I was there for it. It's all about the frames that we look at. Look through the right frames and you'll see the beautiful picture. Look through the wrong frames and you'll see things that are startling and not serving you. So look into that, see the right picture. And it's a beautiful thing when you do.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely so cool. And people are always asking, did Dolores Cannon, my mother, did she say anything like in her books? Has any of this been talked about? And what you just said there, that's like the biggest thing that's talked about is souls coming, because this time, and we're talking, now we're at this really, we're at, well, they're trying to show me we're almost there, like at the apex. We're really, really close. That's why it's feeling so intense. But it's like this, it's, we're talking like this time period, and things have been changing, things have been going on. So this has been building. So it didn't just start. And so that's this, we talk about our lifetimes kind of thing. we came in here to be here at this time. That kind of goes back to our very first show, the red pill or the blue pill. This is what we chose. We chose to be here. And this was coming through in her books, especially the Convoluted Universe books and the 3 Waves of Volunteers, is that this is what we chose. And people were wanting to be here. So, we're observing from everywhere. We're observing there. We have observers on the outside of us, from other planets, other dimensions, other universes, watching what's going on here. And then we have those of us that have come here to be on the front row seats. I compare it to being like on the roller coaster. We wanted to actually be on the ride and actually experience, feel the air through our hair and woo, go for the ride. And so this is what we chose. And she said, and that's exactly what they said, is some souls are just coming in and then leaving very quickly. But when they get on the other side, they can say, and whenever, through all time, I was there. I was there when it was going on. It's just we all are taking different roles. We're all taking different participation places, and I am buzzing everywhere. Some of us want to be on that roller coaster and just take the full ride and go for it, and others want to be watching the roller coaster. That's fine, and feeling the exhilaration and everybody screaming and having fun and whatever. We're all having our different places in this, and some of us are just dipping in and out. Everyone is perfect. Every place is perfect. Every role is perfect. We're all having the experience that we want to have. And so if, like you're talking about on the death, that's what that is. These are souls that are like, okay, this is as much as I wanted to experience it. That was it. And then they're leaving. And this virus, just like, oh boy, do I dare do that? This is sensitive to someone, 9/11, okay? 9/11, that was another. When things like that are happening, souls will take advantage of, it's like, okay, this is my time to leave. Now I'm going to use that as my mechanism to leave. It's my exit route. And I hope that doesn't sound cold and indifferent, but that's how it's viewed from the other side, is like, okay, I need a way to leave now. I'm done. And so it's like, what's the handy method to leave? And there, a lot of times, but in their leaving process, see, there are messages. They're showing me there's never for naught. It's just that was their time to go, and that was their choice. But also within that, let's look at these different things. The death, anytime somebody dies, it has an impact on us. It has an impact as far as their life that was lived and things. But many times we have lessons that are learned because of their passing and maybe the way that they passed. And so that's what these things are. They're always about learning and taking us to the next level and taking us to that next place. But it's always, and maybe sometimes in this, it can be that it was about fear, because I love something that came out. We have talked about this before, as far as the virus being, it's much bigger than just this virus. It's like it's a representation to us. It's like if we had this in our own body, what would it be telling us? If we went to Soul Speak, what would a virus be telling you? You'd look at first how it was manifesting, but ultimately it's something that's invading your body. It's something that you have chosen to take on to teach you something. Okay, so let's look at the collective level, which is what we're doing now. It is on a collective level. If we look at the body of the earth and the body of the collective people, and then this is in the body, what is it trying to show us? What do we want to learn from it? And that's how we approach it. What are you trying to tell us? What do you want us to know? And fear will be right up there among the top things for us to know. And then it can also be, because if we have a virus or something that's inside our body, sometimes I look at that as, are you feeling attacked? Are you feeling like you're a victim? Are you feeling like there's something that is coming to you and imposing, that's a weird word, imposing and impeding you from the outside? So if those are your thoughts, then that can be why this is so major in your world. So it's things like that you want to look at. And those are the kinds of things that we want to let go. I think someone asked once before about how do you let go of fear? How do we exactly release fear? The biggest thing about fear, and actually it's all of these things, it's just looking at it for what it is and recognizing it. When you have, fear, when it first comes up, and it disguises itself in so many ways. It will make it, but it wants to make itself like this great big ugly monster, that's so it scares us, right? And it's great big and everything. But if you just look at it and just do that, what are you trying to tell me? If you'll just look at it in the eyes, because it dares you to. That's why it gets so big, and no, you can't look at me and stuff. But if you'll just look at it, you'll realize it's really not that big. When I looked at fear, because this is part of what I did for Soul Speak, this is what they wanted me to do. It's like really look at each thing and dive into it. And so when I actually looked at it, it's only about 2.5, 3 feet tall, maybe. And it's just little, and I had to kind of get down on its level and look at it. It actually looked down all the time. It didn't want to look me in the eyes, but I wanted to look it in the eyes so I could understand it. And when I did, it was just very, very sad. Very, very, I felt a lot of insecurities there, but very, very sad. And it was like, it just wanted to be embraced. And so it was this misunderstanding that made it so big and horrible. But once it got understood, that it was just a part of myself, it was just a part of that wanted to be looked at and acknowledged, then it was okay. And it was just beautiful, and then embracing it, and then it just goes away. It actually just dissolves and dissipates and goes away. So that's what you do. It's blooming big so that you will look at it. So there's something that you need to look at. So if this is big for somebody, so I hope that helped. But that's the first thing is realize it really wants to talk to you. It really wants you to understand it. It really wants you to embrace it. It really wants to tell you something. And you will be amazed at what happens next. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, that's for somebody. I'd love you to let me know. That's up to you, but that's somebody really, that was really for somebody. I know a lot of us will benefit from it, but somebody really needs that. I love you. Okay.
Beautiful. Just my final thought on just the concept of passing and going to different places. What we tend to forget is we place so much emphasis on this absolute experience that we forget that the soul has stuff to do. There's a lot going on. There are important places to be and important things to do that are very, very, very high up on the energetic level, different dimensional things. So the earth experience, sometimes it's fine just to come here to stay long enough so that you get to experience limitation, so that you get to experience polarity, so that you could experience density. It may be any combination of those three things, but you're getting your taste of that. You're getting experience from that to balance out your holographic personality into the all of who you are. And once you do that, it's on you go, and you're on to the next thing. And these next things are important and higher level things that we may not be able to comprehend or even describe from the limited consciousness that we have. But it is important that when people do pass, you look to them and give them your love and positive energy and give them the energy that attracts. I know in passing, the last thing I would want someone to do is think of me and then just cry nonstop, or just say why, or just pound their fist on the table or something like that. That's the last thing that I would want. I would want thoughts of me to be the memories, the connection, and just think about the positives and the beauty and the memory. And that's an honor to that person, and it's an honor that you're giving to them. And it allows them to more accomplish what they were seeing, and it puts you in that beautiful state. So if we could think about that more collectively as a society, we could revolutionize our whole concept of death. And I realize that sense of loss feels so great. But what we're happening now is a little bit of a loosening up of that sense of loss, and it's that distance and that proximity and not being able to see people. And it is loosening things up a little bit. And we are redefining our definitions. So now when we're redefining these things in an accelerated fashion, we can put these these definitions that are much better serving us individually and collectively.
Nice. Very nice. This is interesting. This is really interesting. I love, and I'm seeing all the hearts over here. So I think we're touching on what everyone really is needing and wanting. So I love that. And oh yeah, what they're saying is this stuff's been hitting a little too close to home this week. And so that's, yeah. I had an experience this week that was interesting. Did a little experimenting and found, we were asking about what is this and stuff, and thinking this answer would be, well, like what I was just saying, this is stuff we've got to go through to get here. And they're like, and all they kept talking about was the others. Like, you guys have no idea what's happening. It's basically that. It's like, it's so huge, it's so big, it's so beautiful. It's what we've been saying. You didn't know, I didn't tell you about this, Kaya. But, I told you a little bit about it, but not to this detail of how grand this is. It's like, if you know what's coming, then it makes what you're going through now a little easier, right? And so, yeah, like it makes more sense. And so, and that's kind of why we were doing it and asking in that way. And all they would talk about is, it wasn't like this process. It was like, get your mind off of this, just let it go, just let everything go, let all your junk go. They're really just focusing on the other. It's like, it's everything we ever dreamed. It's that kind of stuff. And not to say it's like this utopian society. It's not like that. It's not like, oh my gosh, this is what we're going for. Oh, and I'm paddling a boat here, if you can't tell. I've got the oar, it's like, oh, we're going to that rainbow. This stuff doesn't mean anything. If I can just get away from this stuff, oh, this is where I'm going. I'm going to this, It's not like that. It's like, do this, and this is what's here. Because by doing this and letting this go, see, you can't do the rainbow if you don't deal with this stuff. See, does that make sense? You got it. This is the door. This is the way. This is the gateway to this. So it's not like always trying to escape this. That's what I feel like is sometimes where we're off, is I just want to get away. I just want to, why can't I get through this? Why can't I be over here in Wonderland? Why do I have to still be here? And they're saying, this is the way to Wonderland. It's dealing with this. It's going through this, appreciating it, loving it. Hey guys, this is a message tenfold for me right now. Okay. So I'm not pointing fingers. I'm really getting their message. So it's do this, and do it with love and graciousness and trust, and let all that stuff go. And then before all of a sudden you're there, and you're not going to be like, how did I get here? When did this happen? That's how this works. It's not like it's an event. It's not like, oh, we're all going and stuff like that. It's kind of like what you were saying, like we all, like in the Mayan thing, they did this exercise and they were there. They're saying that they were already at this point. See, so they had already dealt with their stuff. So deal with your stuff, deal with it, not in a negative way of, I got to get through this crap, that kind of stuff. Work with it. It's there for a reason. You put it there. We all put our crap in our lives. We all put it there so we can learn what it is that we're wanting to learn and develop things in ourselves that we wanted to develop, so that we can take it now to this next step and be whatever it is that we need to be for this next step in our place. And they're saying that's how it is all the time. It's always embrace these challenges that we create for ourselves. I know I want to curse them many times, and I do curse them many times, like, but they're reminding me we create these things. We are the ones doing this to learn and to grow and develop so that we can go on. Or we can stay here in our little pity party within our little our made up world here. Okay? It's either way. So they're telling me to get off my little, oh gosh, they're using some language that I don't care for. Anyway, essentially telling me, it's like, get off the can, get off, get going. And the job here is to embrace it. Do the work, love yourself, love what you're creating, love what you're doing. Woo, boy. Anybody else there? I like to go through these things apparently so that I can show you firsthand. I can help you firsthand with what's going on. So they're just saying, just love it, embrace it. And as you do, that it all just keeps opening up more and more, and the rainbow gets clearer and clearer. Yeah, but you're not going to get there without dealing with your stuff here.
Absolutely.
Your stuff that you created. Okay, all right. They get on rants.
That's amazing. We're meant to rant. Before we get into question, I just wanted to follow up on one thing. I love reading the comments after, so I want to make this as much a participatory conversation, back and forth exchange. If you guys want to share the dreams that you had this week, and if anyone also had that cycle of their life happening where they were able to connect with a past version of themselves and a future version of themselves, or one or the other. And I'm curious if you were able to do that, or if you weren't, what was it like? What was the conversation like? What were the feelings like? What was the energy exchange? That is personally fascinating to me. And I gave the example last week of how it happens. And I'm just really curious of others, how they might have experienced that, and just share what the dreams were like too.
Okay, so there's a little bit of a delay. So you wanting them to share now?
Yeah, I'll read them later. So you could just put the comments
okay.
in.
Oh, we're not going to share them on here. We're not going to talk about them on here. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought this was something we're going to do now.
Yeah. If it comes up fast enough, we can.
We love to hear what you guys are getting and what's going on in your worlds, because you're our barometer. You really. You're our pulse, and we gear everything toward you and where you are, and like I said, we are tapping into that, and then they take over and they just flood in with their messages. So we definitely want to hear what's going on out there. Oh gosh, I'm feeling so much love. You guys are so amazing. Oh gosh, the love is coming through.
So patient too, like. We had those little technical difficulties, and it's easy to get super stressed. We're like, oh, we got to get going. Oh, my God, people are waiting. But everybody's here, and you're beautiful, and you're connecting, and it's just so nice. Like, I feel like we're in this beautiful soup of love and support, and we get on these hours, and I look forward to this so much.
Yeah.
So I get to connect with so many of you, and we're doing what we can with this and the remotely, and we're onto something really good with this, and it served an amazing purpose, and it's really a beautiful thing. It
is. And when you were saying that, you're saying this love, you were calling it like a soup and everything, and it's like it's in a bubble. It's like we're in their little love bubble, and I feel like all of you, I can feel you all out there, and you're all here. This is. Ooh, they're saying this is our family. You guys, we're all family here. And then we're in this love bubble together. And I just want you to share the love with each other. We're all in this. And, just because you're over here on this chat and you may be watching, you're here just as much as we are. We're all in this together. We just happen to be the two on the screen. But as far as I'm concerned, as far as they're concerned, you're all here on the screen and you're with us. And we're all in this love bubble together. And I love it. Okay, so yeah, I'm not feeling anything again to go, look at all this love. Oh, love from France. Oh, wonderful. Oh, you guys are so amazing. Yeah, we're kind of going back to what you were saying in the beginning. I mean, this is good for all of us. We're all in this. We're all doing this. And I wanted to share something. I don't know if any of you else are noticing this. I mean, I'm watching a little more TV than I normally would, because normally I'm got other routine things that I'm doing. And I usually just record shows and then I just watch them, the ones that I want to watch, and I, click through the commercials, don't watch them. But something was telling me to watch some things and to watch commercials, just a few, just to kind of, and I'm like, I don't want to watch commercials. Why am I doing this? And it was really interesting that the messages that are coming through are really, really interesting. It's for me to helping me to see where the world is, and on a global level, or at least in America and in my part of the world here. And it started with my part of the world. It was just some advertisements and just showing, hey, we're all in this together and we're here to help you. We're all here to help each other. Let's help each other. Those are the messages that are here. We're in this together and let's help each other. Have you ever seen that before on a mass level? Have you ever seen messages on TV? No. And the drug commercials are still there. Yeah, they're still there. But predominantly, the messages are, hey, we're in this. Let's stick together. We're doing this together. We're all in this together. And they're showing all the wonderful kindnesses that are happening out there. And I feel such a love for humankind right now. And I'm so proud of people. I'm just so proud of us. I just feel like we've never done this before. We've had calamities happen before and we pull together, but this is different. This is like this global, and it's something different about this. And it's showing how we are as humanity. I really feel like it's a barometer for showing us where we are with different things. And I am so proud of us. I really am proud of us, of what we're doing collectively. I love you guys.
It is a very beautiful, beautiful thing that we have here, and how we're impacting our own lives and crisscrossing our energies. And I think that's such a special thing. And it's kind of funny, like we talk about that in the live classes. We're like, everybody at the end, it's so crazy. Like in the beginning, you come as separate, and then you come together and you intersect. And then by the end, everybody's crying and they're like, I don't want to leave. Like, we're in our own bubble, and it's hard leaving. And I feel that we're getting something close to the equivalent of that. We're matching it now with these conversations and rolling with these. And geez, that's so rewarding. It's super, super rewarding.
It really is. Because that's, doing classes is not easy. It's work. It's a lot of work and a lot of energy that we expend doing them. But that is what makes it all worthwhile. It is so rewarding. In fact, that tips the balance, the scales the other direction. When we look at what we put in and everything, that is always the part that just makes it, it's like, we wouldn't do anything else. I wouldn't do anything else. I can't see myself doing anything else. I love what I do. I love teaching, and I love working with people. And I love being in that place with them. And I love seeing people get it, and when they make that connection and they get it. And that's what happens. And then we build these bonds and that love bubble that's there. You're right. It's just it's so rewarding, and it always tips the scales to where it doesn't even matter what went into doing it. It's just fantastic. And that's my goal for each and every one of you, period, is to find work that you feel that way about, work that you love, that is so rewarding to you. It's not work. It is, there may be technical steps to it and everything, but it is just so gratifying and so rewarding that you just love doing it all the time.
Yeah, and it's incredible working in the realm of consciousness, of human consciousness, and diving in there and pulling back different layers of things that are holding us back. And this is where the real power is. It's like the juice behind the driver of humanity's expansion within the individual. It's the exploration of consciousness. And, and again, it comes back to this as I feel everybody that's listening to this right now, you're here for a reason. You're listening to this for a reason. And there's a big spark. There's something that lights you up when you explore consciousness and you look into yourself and you realize how so much of this world is actually internal. And you can have a vision for so much by looking for within and having all your answers within. And you don't really need the constant stimulation that this world is trying to push in through the acceptance of the information age and all these different channels to try and get stuff to you, and how pop culture works. And because the mechanisms of it are pretty outdated still. Or you think about consensus reality, and now there's this tiger show where there's a tiger person, and somehow he gets involved, like people that they breed tigers, and it got to be really popular on Netflix. And I watched some of it because I really like tigers. I had a chance to be around a lot of tigers in Thailand, and it was an amazing experience. But as I watched this show, I saw that this was really about runaway ego, and what happens when there's a runaway ego unleashed, when you get a level of success and people tend to glorify you and you're the key to something that's beyond them. And I saw the level of ego rising and rising and rising across the spectrum of all these breeders that were all connected, and they all had these plot lines. And so from a reality TV producer mind, I was like, okay, they did good editing on this. But the main theme of it was runaway ego and as a gatekeeper to something else. And I see that as the exact opposite to what we're doing, because we do have a perception of this something else, of these different levels of brainwave states, of these definitions of consciousness, of the understanding the dynamics of how we work as human beings, of what our consciousness is, right? And that's some important information that we've, in past lives, we've been like in these mystery schools, and we've had to hide. We'd be executed. We have our heads chopped off if we talked about this in public, right? And now we can freely share this. And we're the gatekeepers of this information. But when I think of how we interconnect with each other, there's no ego about this information at all. There's no inflation. It's just the opposite. There's this beauty, and there's this connection, and there's how you want to show people this world in the most beautiful way. You don't want to push them out and make it exclusive and build something up. You want to open that door for them. You want to let them in, and you let down your ego, and you actually open your own sense of vulnerabilities in letting down that door. And if anything, it's exactly the opposite, the most polar opposite way that you could possibly imagine, because you open your heart to them and you bring them through in this exploration of consciousness, and you share stories about yourself and what your experience that are deeply personal, and that connects even more. And I see that as part of like getting to know people in the QHHT experience, and how we interact with each other, and how sessions happen. And for me, it was just magical. Sometimes in life, you see these things that you notice, and they just serve as barometers, and they're just points. And you can see, wow, that's the distance between something else and where I am. And I'm really happy where I am. And I see that something else, and I see that degree of limitation, and I see what happens when there's another direction. And when things go the opposite direction and they start to get momentum, how it affects those people. So it's interesting, and it just makes you understand the dynamics of this world, or at least I'm understanding this world more, of that polarity and that path that everybody's on. And it's fine for those people to take that path, and they can express the ego in that way. But really, at the end, you're going to be more happy when you let go of ego as much as you possibly can. You open your heart and you actually share your vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities was something that was just coming into me this week, and I never really think of the word being vulnerable or vulnerability. I'm the one that a lot of people look at. I'm like, let's do this. But I was thinking of like, okay, how do vulnerabilities work? How do they play in? And the more I talk, the more things that I've been thinking about all week get blended into this conversation through different rays, and the energy of everyone brings it out. And it's just wild how that works.
Interesting. So you've had something happen, huh? Were you feeling vulnerable this week?
Yeah, it was good opening myself up to a sense of vulnerability. And I think we can put that up for a number of reasons in the physical world. And like in business, the last thing you want to do generally is show vulnerability if it's a negotiation or something, right? Then in business, you can be kind of steamrolled. So through the years, I can be conditioned not to show vulnerabilities. But now I'm looking into myself. It's about, okay, if I'm not showing it in a business negotiation, I don't have to show it there. I can show it in other ways to balance myself out energetically, right? Because nothing has to happen a certain way. It's never this or that. It can always be this and that. There's going to be different ways of manifesting itself. It's just how you perceive it. It's just how you perceive it.
Can I introduce, I know a lot of people know this, but for some reason they're wanting me to bring in, since you're talking about business, this is interesting because I don't know if somebody's struggling with this. And then you brought in the this and this. I've always liked to call things a win-win. And I always look when I'm doing business and I'm working on things. I was taught a very long time ago that the best thing you can bring to business is to be fair when you're making decisions. Be fair, and so I always look for the win-win in any situation. I try to find what benefits everyone here, and so that to me is when you're saying this and this. Why can't it be both? It's probably along that line. So I don't know if somebody needs this or somebody needs to hear this. There are win-wins. In fact, I go beyond win-win and I look for the win-win-win-win. And so like anybody and everybody in a situation, there is a solution where everyone wins. It's to the benefit of everyone. And that's always. So I encourage you to look for that in any situation, anything that you're doing. It might be business, it might be personal, it might be, whatever you're looking at, look for the win-win-win-win. It's not me against you, it's not me above you, it's not me better than you. We're all in this. We created this to learn from and to grow from. So let's find the win-win-win-win in it.
Yes. That's so great to add that on, because we kind of engage in negotiations all the time in life, right? You could be like with a significant other, wife or husband or something, and you're negotiating who's going to do this little chore or who's going to do that. And there are kind of little negotiations, but the absolute best position that you can take all that is to lay something out where you both win. And it's a function of creativity. And it's also a function of knowing the other person. And the more you make the effort to get to know whomever you're trying to come together with an idea, an agreement, the more you know their needs and understand their needs, the better that you can create that desired reality. Well, how do you then understand their needs? You just ask questions, right? And you make the energy to get to know them, and you get your questions from surface to depth. And for me, when I'm talking about deep questions anyway, that's what naturally is stimulating. The deeper you can get in, I love the way minds work. I love psychology. I love why people do the things they do. And it's just naturally fascinating. And I think that's the foundation to really creating these win-win situations, is first understand what the person wants, and then look to create a path for them where you both benefit and you can both really enjoy that.
This is interesting, the turn this has taken. So somebody needs this. I love it. Actually, there's more than one body that needs this. So, yeah. And I'm not even going to go into the whys and wherefores. They're showing me a lot of different scenarios. That's interesting. So you know who you are. You know if it touched something. You know if it's helpful. But, we go through it all the time too. And that's always where we're at. Every single thing we look at is where's the win-win-win-win, so because like you said, there's always one there. It is always there. It's just a matter of being open to it.
Yes.
That's interesting how this has turned.
Yeah, we should roll it.
I love it. Part of it. Let me look at some of these. Bill McCormick it's awesome in Huntsville. He's the one that was in the level 2 in Miami, or level 1 in Miami, from Huntsville. I mean, he went to Florida. He had been in Florida. He moved to Huntsville, Arkansas, and then he went to Florida to go to the level 1 class from Huntsville. Right here. This is where we are. Or this is where I am. And you're in Miami. So that's really cool. The one message I can see was that.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay. So how you feeling, Kaya?
I feel great. I mean, we've gone probably over the hour since we had the technical difficulties, but why don't we go ahead and at least get like a question or two, and then we'll go into on the YouTube live. We'll get right into a lot of questions on that because we realize we have a lot of that. So when we do the YouTube live on Wednesday, we'll make the majority of that a Q&A. We know this time we kind of went into the different tangents, but there was a reason for why we flowed and why Julia disappeared at a particular time.
And actually, you're going to love this. I went to go pull up the page of questions, and it's not there. So,
Oh, all right. Well,
if somebody wants to send in one really quick, just something that you have a burning question that we have not come anywhere close to addressing. So that's really, really burning for you, or a line of thinking or anything. Put that in real quick. Okay, what about the financial and economic switch? What should we do?
Okay, fair enough. That depends on your model of the world. There's not, if I were to come in and issue a blanket statement, it could conflict with your belief systems, and it may not resonate anyway and could lead you into decisions that wouldn't be in your best interest. So instead of giving you something tactical like buy gold, I would say that, look into yourself and find out where your fears reside, and what kind of position makes you the most stable, balanced, and capable of taking action towards your passions in this environment. What you don't want to do is whatever decision it is that could be related to personally, economic, or financial, you don't want to take actions that further enhance your sense of anxiety or risk, or do things when you're getting an inclination of this feels really risky, and push the envelope in that, because you do want a sense of balance and stability, and you want your decisions to come from that place. So that's sort of what I would advise in a financial and economic situation like this, because it is a very unstable, crazy rapids happening right now, and things are changing, and there's extreme volatility and lots of change. So that's already something that there's a lot of action with it. You don't want to sort of magnify that with your decision-making process. You want to be able to take a deep breath and be able to make coordinated movements that make you comfortable during this time. That's the best way, I think, at least at this point in the cycle. When we have this conversation a month from now, we could potentially, get into more specifics, but now it's more of like looking from within and understanding really what makes you feel the way that you do about the financial and economic times.
When you were saying that, I got this visual, and I'm not sure if you said something about rapids or whatever, but I got a visual of rapids, and trying, when you're riding the rapids and everything, and what happens there, and it's very volatile. It's very, and what do you do in order to get through that? And so they're using that as a visual example of kind of what to do right now. I mean, if you tense up when we do in fear, I will tell you from experience that doesn't work. You will dump the boat. You will crash and burn. Okay, if you tense up and you go like this. And so what you have to do with rapids is you have to actually get your body very relaxed and its flow. And because the canoe or whatever you're riding, the raft, whatever, it knows what to do. It'll just float. Okay, it just goes. But if you're stiffening up and you're fighting it, then you will end up in the water. You will crash and burn. But if you will just relax and just go with the flow and just move with it and see what happens is you actually get to your destination faster, right? Because the rapids are moving quickly to somewhere. And that's what they wanted to relay, is like, relax with it, go with it, move on that current. Just go with the current, and then you will get where it is. You will get to your desired destination much faster. You won't crash and burn. The universe is there to support. Ooh, they're big on that one. So that was just a cool little visual that came in. There was another question about a UFO, and this might be interesting that we can stop it on this one. Someone said they know they saw a UFO a couple of days ago, and then in meditation, because I guess they were communicating or asking about it in meditation, they received a message that this was a friend and that this person was on a mission. And it's like, what do we feel about that? Could that possibly be? How does that, what? You have anything to say on that, Kyle?
So it's just, can you sum that? What's the question?
The question was, could that be real? Could it be that, because the message was that this was a friend and that this person's on a mission? And
this is very, very high probability that it's real. Probably 99.99% chance it's real. And probably the most shocking part of it could potentially be is that friend is you. Mm-hmm. That's a different you talking to you, giving you energy, giving you power, wishing to connect, energizing you through this great period of transformation, and sending you a connected form of energy and opening a doorway for this conversation to continue. So the door's open now. You've perceived that. What you can do is you can go back to that same place and look at that doorway and think about how you were feeling when you saw that. And the mere act of thinking about what it was like when you saw that puts you in that exact place. So the difference between you and there is actually like a millimeter. And then once you're there, you can continue on with those conversations. It's not meant to be a one-off thing. Now is our time when we have these unique experiences and we're getting information from other sources. Now's the time to engage, because this is very exciting for them. They're checking in with us to see how this is going. How are we handling this, right? It's like we're watching the TV when the big hurricane's coming on and the weatherman's in the storm and the hurricane, Bob, this is Bob here, we're the weather storm, but we're still doing okay. The weather's not too bad here. We're okay. And everybody's watching. Well, they're watching and we're the weathermen, except we're cool, we're calm, we're collected, and we're hanging in there.
Sorta.
And we are. We are. We're doing just fine. The way things are progressing, we're doing fine. We're actually doing really well. Really, really well.
I love that you use a storm as the example, because what happens with every storm?
An eye. There's an eye, and there's an enemy.
And then it's also, there's an eye of the storm, so you can stay in the eye of the storm. Well, that's going on, but also every storm passes.
Yes.
It doesn't stay there forever. It can't. Every storm passes. So this too shall pass. So whatever you're in, if you're in the, try to get to the eye of the storm, because that'll be a little smoother, because you don't want to be right in the high winds of it. If you can help it, unless that's what you want your experience to be. They're reminding me, wait a minute, everybody has their choice how they want to experience the storm. That's entirely up to you. But just always remember the storm passes. It does not stay forever. It does not mean the end of the world. It too shall pass.
And in big structure and in big storms, structures may be taken down and perceived as being destroyed. And a big hurricane comes in, Category 5, and it knocks some stuff down. Like we take it for Miami. It happened in South Miami many years ago. And eventually, new structures were put in place. And these new structures had different codes that were stronger. There were hurricane codes. So in the future, they're even stronger than they were in the past. Okay. And that's what's happening now with us, collectively.
Yeah. We can weather these storms. We can do it. We've done many. We've done it before. We'll do it again. We can do it. We know how to do this. We got this.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to leave it. We got this. You got this. We got this. We're all good.
Yes. And you want to make the announcement for those of you guys that you may be new. We're getting new viewers onto the stream constantly. It's really amazing. And you're interested in QHHT and some of the concepts we've been talking about. If you want to take the online class, now is a great time to do it. We have plenty of a minimum of external distractions and a good time to do it at home. Julia has a coupon code.
Yeah. It's all a shuffling back and forth. My note that had it on it before is in the other room, so I wrote it again really quick on the back of a check. So
lots of fun. So the love will lead to a lot of money.
Yeah, hey, that's wonderful. I love the symbolism there. So they never cease to stop having fun with us. I just want you to know they love doing that. So anyway, so that's, yeah, if you want to do this, it's fantastic. That code will get you a discount. And so have fun. Have fun with this. Have fun with working with yourself and working with others, and exploring consciousness and seeing what you are, who you are, what you are, and what you can do.
Next week, let's see, we'll be on the QHHT YouTube channel. We have 2 YouTube channels. One's an old one. If you went to the old one, it'll say the QHHT channel has moved. Go to the new channel. That's where we'll be Wednesday, 11 a.m. We'll be back here Friday. We're expanding. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be hitting a lot of questions on Wednesday. We're going to get through tons.
Yeah, absolutely. Promise. I bet we got through tons today and don't realize it.
Yes, exactly.
And when you said 11 a.m., that's 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, 8 Pacific, and I don't know where it equates around the world. So.
Yeah, really, middle of the night, but you guys will catch us later. Europe, kind of the end of the day.
Right. So that'll be on Wednesday on YouTube, and then we'll be back here again, same time on Friday.
Heather asked for the code again. Heather Morrison. Lots of love, Heather.
That good?
There we go. Yeah, good.
Okay.
It was so wonderful for sharing. Thank you all for sharing the energy. Thank you for being so patient for us in the technical, and thank you for sharing the love. We feel the energy. I'm going to feel you guys all week. You're only a thought away. I can feel it when you think. It's pretty amazing, and we will connect telepathically until we have to see again.
Absolutely. Love you all. Mwah.